forget the scenario where Jimmy Garoppolo is a wild success when he leaves, because I'm skeptical of that. But
right.
What about the scenario where Trey Lance is a bust? And I'm not saying like Jamarcus Russell bust. I'm talking like Carson Wentz bust, Jared Goff bust. The kind of player where went to a Pro Bowl, maybe went to a couple of Pro Bowls, maybe even was an MVP candidate one year, but didn't get this, wasn't necessarily a longtime franchise quarterback, didn't reach the expectations of that massive trade. Would one or both of Kyle Shanahan or John Lynch survive?
I think Shanahan would, because he's just so widely acclaimed as such a great play caller, play deviser, play schemer, play sequencer. I think his value is kind of firmly established and it's kind of accepted across the board. You know, if every NFL coach was a free agent, he would get a top 5 contract, no doubt. He might get a top 3 contract if they were all free agents, despite never winning a Super Bowl. So I think he's held in that high regard. Lynch, on the other hand, is a great public face for the team, but he's very much an unproven entity, I think, as an evaluator.
Yeah, but here's what's going to happen. Lynch is smart. And if this goes sideways with Lance, he's going to distance himself from this real quick and be like, this was Kyle's guy. I wanted Jimmy Garoppolo. I wanted Mac Jones. And I think Kyle's going to have to own this one. He can't put this on anyone else. This is his team. He wanted Trey Lance. And I think what's going to look bad for him, if he's wrong on Lance, is that, yes, he's very good. His scheme is everyone wants his scheme. But do you want him picking your quarterback? Because it doesn't seem like he's able to do that. He's had a lot of chances. He did good when he inherited Matt Ryan. But when he had a team where he had carte blanche to do whatever the hell he wanted, I mean, he passed on Mahomes. He passed on Stafford. He passed on Brady.
Watson.
He passed on everyone, yes. And so I think he might get the reputation of great scheme, no clue what he's doing at the quarterback position. That's bad. That's bad. He doesn't want that to happen right now, because that's not his reputation right now.
You know, it's interesting. I keep coming back to that draft, the pre-draft presser last year, where Shanahan appeared to be telling everybody that he wanted Mac Jones, or he was like basically arguing with people about the value of Mac Jones.
That he was definitely worth the number 3 pick if they took him.
Right. And then, and it was very bizarre because there was no reason to do that. There was no reason to do that. It made me feel like Kyle really did want Mac Jones. So he's smart enough to know that you cannot trade those kind of assets to move into the top 3 and then not be all in on your quarterback. So as soon as they made the pick, he was all in. But man, that pre draft presser, man, it really sounded like he was all about Mac Jones and that other people were pushing him to this selection. And who knows if that will ever come out or if there will ever be anything there. But that's the indication, or that's a feeling I got from watching that.
That's a feeling I know a lot of people in the media have. But the way I interpret it isn't necessarily that someone in the organization pushed him. I think it's like society pushed him. You know what I mean? Like, he probably wanted Mac Jones at 3 and thought he could, that he had the cachet to do that. And he realized, like, not only did he not have the cachet to do that, he was going to lose a lot of public support if he did that. And not only that, like, given where we were at the time as a society, people were going to call him racist. I mean, it was getting like that type of, tone was coming out. Like, does Kyle only like white quarterbacks? And I think he was like, wait a second. Just because I like Mac Jones doesn't mean I'm racist. Doesn't mean I don't like black quarterbacks. And I think he almost got a little defensive and like, okay, well, yeah, I do like Mac Jones, but I can make it work with Trey Lance. I like Trey Lance too. Lance may not be ready right away, but I can make it work with Lance. And maybe he did this just to be defensive, because he's like, wait, hold on. I'm not the way people are painting me. I'm the good guy here.
It's really interesting. It's an interesting angle. I will also say this. I think Kyle Shanahan, in a way, with this pick of Lance, kind of called his own bluff. He's never developed a young quarterback. And don't at me with RG3. RG3 is a bust who's on TV right now, and he's like 27. I mean, he did not develop RG3. When having a singular good season is not developing a quarterback.
He didn't develop Kirk Cousins either.
But if RG3 still had an NFL career, was a Pro Bowler right now, you could say, well, he had a hand in developing him. He's out of the league. So there is no young quarterback that Kyle has developed. And I think Kyle's a great play caller, great play sequencer. Doesn't mean that he's a personnel evaluator. Doesn't mean that he can evaluate quarterbacks that are right for his system. Time's going to tell on this one. But in a way, I think he called his own bluff because he drafted the quarterback with unbelievable tools that needs refinement. And now it's basically all on him to usher in that refinement either directly or through his quarterback coach.
I think we bullied him as a society. I remember he traded up a full month before the draft. And what did he say? Like, hey, when I'm at the supermarket or when I'm at my kid's soccer game, please leave me alone. He said that. And what was he talking about? When people would go up to him that month, they were basically saying, who are you going to draft? And please don't draft Mac Jones. I'm sure he got that a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
he heard it.
He heard it from everywhere. Don't do it. Don't do it. No one trusted him on this. And I think he didn't want the smoke. I don't think he wanted the smoke.
There were a lot of people around him right on draft day who, I say around him, around the team, who were making their arguments that Mac Jones was the best player. They were getting ready to defend Mac Jones as the selection. They really were.
Wow. It just shows you that
heard it on the radio.
Doesn't necessarily communicate what he wants to do that much. I think he likes leaving people in the dark. I think he's a natural troll. And I say this as a natural troll myself. Troll recognized troll.
Game recognizes game.
Richie says Lynch couldn't get a deal done. Maybe Parag stepped in and said now they need to hold on to Jimmy Garoppolo till a specific date to minimize the money owed to Jimmy Garoppolo. Can they really just wait until he passes a physical and then move him the next day and trade him the next day? I don't know.
To me, the big line of demarcation is the uniform. Does he put a uniform on and take the field?
You better not. What a bad look that would be. Waruna Mafia says, Larry, you had me until Jimmy plays well. Brian J says, supposedly we play the Panthers week 1, Trey versus Jimmy week 1.
I saw that. Did you see that?
I did not see that. Is that
there was a leak on the schedule, and supposedly it goes Niners Panthers week 1, maybe Niners Falcons week 2. What if Jimmy winds up with the Panthers and we get a week 1 Trey Jimmy showdown? That would be damn good. I'm
surprised that they open up back to back on the road again, if that's true, because I think the Niners might request it every year because they don't like the September hot heat. Levi's. They don't like that because it's a headline. Levi's, someone had a heat. Like, they don't want that. So I think they're like, can we please start on the road? They did last year. And if they get Carolina and Atlanta back to back, boy, just like last year, an easy 2-0 start. It's good news.
By the way, I think that's advantage Niners. Start on the road. Then you don't have there's a little pressure in week 1. You're just developing and finding out things about your football team, no matter how established you are. I like the idea of starting on the road anyway. I think it's pressure on the home team.
Go play Sam Darnold. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
They're better on the road anyway. They're not the greatest home team.
You could, Grant, ask Pops about that. They weren't the greatest home team when they were awesome. The Niners would all in their heyday would often lose an early season home game in the 80s and 90s. Yep. Happened all the time.
I have no J55F100 says Kyle did not want Mac Jones. He likes durable quarterbacks. He was all in on Watson till it came out. He wanted, Lance was the best versus Fields. Yeah, I preferred Lance to Fields. Durable quarterbacks. Mac wasn't durable? He likes durable quarterbacks. Why does he like Jimmy then?
Yeah. Or did he ever like Jimmy? Or did he just have 45 minutes to make his decision? And they just said, the price is too good. We'll just do it. Second round pick.
And then he realized, wow, this is not my kind of quarterback. Sean says that presser was poker to make sure he got Lance. Okay. Just to make it seem like he liked Mac Jones. Okay.
You had the third pick in a draft that had the Clemson quarterback going 1. So and then you knew Zach Wilson was going to be there too. I just think he liked Zach Wilson, and he thought he had to be top 3 for Zach Wilson. He was going to let it shake out.
Official BNA Music 88 says Lynch saw that Brady TV money. Yeah, that's where the money is. Talking about football, not being a GM or a coach. Just talk about it. Larry and I'll tell you that. That's where the money is. So maybe Lynch will bail after this year. Although I think he was waiting for the job that Brady ultimately got. No?
I can't believe Brady got that kind of money, Grant. That one's shocking to me. People are going to watch those games anyway. I don't understand why he's getting that kind of cash.
Pete, Double B Studio says Pete C was waiting for Sudfeld to get cut. Yeah, Sudfeld, he's the one. He's just so
shrewd take.
Shrewd take.